Jetboy, Born to Fly, 12 tracks, 44 minutes, the 9th overall release in the American hard rock band, released January 2019 via THRS Radio. I believe it was self-produced by guitarist Billy Rowe. 2 promo tracks were released in Beating the Odds and Born to Fly. This is the band's first release of all new material since 1990, and the core group of the band were joined by ex-Fast Pussycat member Eric Stacey on bass and Al Serrato on drums. Go for it.
This album starts off with some very Painkiller-esque style riffs and vocals, and at the time to tell you, from the opening track, I thought it was great. I adore that song. After that, for me, though, it does very slowly, I don't want to say it goes off a cliff, but it's like it goes down a slow gradient and ends up in the same spot. While
it crashes.
So
yeah,
it abseiled.
Yeah, it abseiled off the cliff.
But did anybody get injured or?
I don't know. It's the first album since 1990, so maybe. Look, it picks up a little bit towards the end, but unfortunately, this was a classic case of a band not pacing their album for the songs that they had, and. You know, rather than... Look, if it was me personally, some of these songs I wouldn't have had in there. But if this is what you're going to go with, you've really got to work out your track listing to make sure that things flow properly. Because, I've actually written down here, this is a classic case of a band blowing your load too early. And that's essentially what it is. Everything else felt like...
We had one like that the other week, didn't we?
Yeah. Everything just felt like a bit of a flat and a downer, which was a shame because there is potential in this. Beating the Odds was the highlight for me, which was the opener. I gave it a 5 out of 10.
Okay.
As I normally do for the viewers, I like to give comparisons of bands that I think, if you do like these bands, you may like this one. So for me, this was a cross between, this is very diverse, Sisters Doll, Snakeboat Whiskey, and if you know Broken Teeth, which are like an AC/DC type band, you'll get something out of this listen. Those 3 bands are a cut above this band, though. So you may not like it as much as what I'm saying. But give it a listen anyway, because that's what we're here to do.
We've listened to it, so
you're not a salesman in your dojo, are you?
Yeah, no, real estate. That's what I do.
You're going to be
anything. As long as I don't have to talk to anybody, we'll be fine. So, 9th release, you said?
Yeah, overall from the band.
Fuck me. That's for 9 releases. This is not that good at all. And I don't even know what they sounded like previous to this, but this didn't really move me a great deal. It had that dirty indie rock feel about it, almost a surfer sort of vibe in spots. It was a little all over the place. There wasn't really cohesive. And are we going to be a hard rock band, or are we going to be one of those, junior high bands, or whatever the fuck they're going to be doing?
Yeah, I do understand that.
Look, it's a very straightforward album, which is cool. That's fine. Very one pace for my liking. Like every song had that, set the metronome to that, and that's all we need. Everything was was one pace and almost made it sound samey.
Yep.
And for some bands like AC/DC, it worked, but nowadays I think people need a little bit more.
Yep.
Couldn't get into the vocals at all.
They're going to be... they'll divide people.
And that was an ear sore for me, personally. I couldn't focus on anything that was good because that vocal was just mediocre.
And it cuts through too.
It is. It's really high up in the mix and that, and it's just like, I want to fucking just take that out. Make an instrumental album for me.
Probably would have helped it.
It was neither here or there. It was, I've heard worse and I've heard far better.
Yep.
6 out of 10 for me. Born to Fly, Broken Hearted Daydream were my standouts. And fuck, did the album go long? It just felt like this
44 minutes.
Yeah, but it was like 15 tracks or something. Like it was like a long. Fuck, mate.
That's probably not a good sign.
It felt long.
Yeah. Oh, if it feels long, it's not going to be.
Yeah. Good luck on your 10th release.
If they get to that point. It's their first new material since 1990. It's pretty much a shot of straight up hard rock for you. If you like riffs and melody, this should make you happy in some respects. It's high energy. The vocals have that gravelly sound that I thought actually worked well for this. It's going to be very much predicated by taste. If you don't like gravelly vocals that tend to cut through, you're really not going to like
You've got to be good at it. It's like throating. You've got to be able to scream with conviction. With conviction.
Conviction.
Yes.
Yeah.
If you're half-assing it, it's just not right. No one's going to enjoy that.
Brendan practices his throating in the corner.
And I was impressed, mind you. Like, that was nice. If only you could see right now what's going on.
I'll just sort of...
Anyway, throating is a vocal term that I was trying to use.
Yeah, Brendan worked on his gag reflex.
This dirty full-timer here took it somewhere else.
Anyway, it's overall it's sort of tempo-based, guitar-focused, straightforward. Performances suit the style of music they're going for. It's nothing new, but they are good at what they do for the most part. That little bit of looseness sort of creeps into it for mine. Writing is built out of blues rock and melodies, right down to that. There's some harmonica on this, which was that's again going to be a taste thing. It's very ballsy, but it's a throwback kind of album. You can tell this band came out of the 80s to 90s, and they've come into today with the influences on it. It's got ballads, it's got blazing tracks. It's all tried and true stuff, but it's well crafted. If you like your rock and metal from that era, you'll probably enjoy this. Not overly dated per se, but it is a throwback thing. I think the production values overall brought it back up into today's...
Yeah.
Sonically, not so much musically, but sonically. It's not an album that'll win them new fans, so this is, I think, being proven in this review. Lyrics are in the same vein. It's all well crafted. There are some catchy hooks. It's memorable, but it is also from that simpler time. But I thought there was some intelligence to it, and when they channeled their anger, it was genuine. They had some things to say. There were some political sort of statements in some of these songs, which I thought was well done. Production was interesting. It's one of those cases where they just didn't quite nail it. The theory was good. Some nice use of panning, some nice space. It's all well laid. There are some nice tones and some nice ear candy moments in there. But there was that vocal tone that for some reason did get pushed too much at times, was distracting and overall made the mix feel brittle when you're listening to it, too top end heavy, which isn't overall too bad. If they'd have balanced it with more bottom and mid, it would have sort of, and mixed the vocal back a bit, it would have been easier to sort of take it in on a listen. Another point for mine is that it hits the compressor a bit too hard here and there as well. Nothing too bad overall, but it does detract from the listen for mine. I thought the overall track order and the length was pretty good. It's a fun, upbeat sort of listen, even in its more serious moments. Doesn't overstay. The tempo changes are just enough, sort of, to keep you interested. It's more of a background kind of album, though. It's not one you want to sit there and really focus on. It's one of those ones you put in the background when you're having a party or doing housework or whatever you're going to do. There are some cool songs. It's one
so
you're
saying it's one of those ones where you don't really want to listen to it.
No, you
just
do.
to fill in some air in the background.
But no, it's the thing about the energy it gives. And I thought the energy it gives is good if you don't sort of really hone in on it. It's not an analytical album. Like we had Song before, and that was one you really get stuck into.
Yeah.
If you put that approach to this album, it's going to piss you off. This is just a fun listen to put on in as a casual thing in the background.
It's the Friends of albums.
Well, yeah, okay. Yeah, that's one way to put it. I thought there were some cool songs in this. It's one of those ones where on each listen, a different one will sort of jump out at you. But I wouldn't listen to it on repeat, but you will go back to it now and then for mine. But if you're not a fan of bands like Mr. Big and that whole era when that was huge, so to speak, you're not going to find anything in this one for you. If you do like that stuff, then this is a fun listen, and it will reward you, as it is diverse without straying too far from the formula. I had a bit of fun with this, but it wasn't, groundbreaking. I did give it a higher score, but I'm going to downgrade it because I just don't think it's worth giving it that high score on retrospective thought. So I gave it a 7 out of 10. Old Dog, New Tricks, Born to Fly, Inspiration from Desperation, and Smoky Ebony were my standouts. Check it out for yourselves. Let us know what you think. I did give it an 8 originally, but I'm looking back going, no, I'm not going to compare that to Inglourious.
7's too fucking high.
Insanity alert. 666 back.
I'm out. Tag in.
Jimmy. Move up a bit more. We can do this.
All good?
There we go.
Not yet.
Who's going first on this one?
I'll stick to the formula. Should be
All
me.
right.
Yeah.
Okay.
We've tried the formula. It hasn't quite come off.
Hang on.
Oh my god.
Oh, well, I just got fucking done it.
Yeah.
What are you doing over there?
Throating.
Yeah, I guess on the X-Files is deep throat, didn't you?
That was great.
Alright, cool. You know it's good when the dog moves the whole fucking table.
Yeah.
Hey, big guy. Yo. You can get out if you choose to. Anyway.
Maybe if I stand there and look at it, someone will move it.
They're good at that. Shall we?
Yeah.
Sure.
Alright.